everyone. How are you doing? Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. This is Petal. Hope you guys are having a great day wherever you are. My opening there just kind of got messed up. I think after you haven't done this in a couple of days, all of a sudden I'm like, what am I doing again? But anyways, welcome to Facts and Two Cents. As you know, we are a channel that supports the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry, Meghan, Archie, Baby Lily, Mama Doria, Poola Guy, the chickens, all of us here at Sussex Squad. Welcome, 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 guys. Say hi to all my friends in the chat. Hope you all are having a great day. Didn't get a chance to say hello to you before. And welcome to my very impromptu podcast today. We're gonna do our book club today. Unfortunately, we're gonna do it tomorrow. Yesterday and today I've been a little bit crazy, and we had a kind of an emergency at our building right next door to us, which is sort of connecting to our building. It was a little traumatic, and I think I'm still a little bit traumatized. But it's just everything is fine. It's just and stuff has never happened before, and you're like, oh my gosh, So yesterday and today have been a bit of a trip for me, and so. I wasn't on here yesterday. I was like, oh, I need a minute. And and it was weird. It's like I was even trying to finish the book yesterday, and I was like, my mind was just, I couldn't. My brain just couldn't take it in. I think I just felt trauma. Not to laugh, but it's just, at least I'm laughing it off. But it wasn't funny at all. But so I'm gonna finish up the book today. And so I was like, okay, let me get my brain is a little bit more free today, and I can do our book club tomorrow for our Two Cents crew members. So hope you all will join us. That would be awesome. But I was going to say hi to everyone here in the chat. Annie is here. Hello, Annie. And our awesome moderator, Trish Nelly, is here. Hi, Church Nelly, and giving everyone a big Friday thumbs up. Oh, I just realized today was Friday the 13th. And I was like, oh no. I was just like, I don't know why I still have this Friday the 13th, like, ooh, it's like, it's not a big deal, but I don't know why it always gives me the creeps. But anyways, thank you, Church Nelly, for reminding everyone. Please like this video, subscribe if you're new here, click the notification bell so you know when we drop a video, and please share this video. And also, if you'd like, join our 2 Cents crew where you support the channel monthly. That would be awesome if you're able. So thank you, Church Nelly, for reminding everyone. I think I said Annie before. Hi, Annie, and Mary and Sherry is here, and Emerald is here. Hi, Emerald. And Joyce is here. Hello, Joyce. And who else is? Oh, I see Dolores. Hi, Dolores. How are you doing? And April May is here. Hi, guys. And Rochelle is here. All my friends are hanging. Oh, awesome moderator. Karen M is here. Hello, Karen. And Maureen. And our 2 Cents crew member, Alma's here. Hello, Alma. And our awesome 2 Cents crew member, Joan Garcia, is here as well. Hi, Joan. And Teslin and Sonia and Legs. I see you guys. And I'll say hi to all our other friends as we go along. I see you here, Angela. I see you doing Hope's Garden. I see you guys. And I see you guys. So welcome, welcome, welcome. How have you guys been? I know everybody's been reading and trying to finish it and all of that stuff. And again, for our 2 Cents crew members, tomorrow at 12:30, we'll have a book club, and we will just chat. And again, the book club is for 2 Cents crew member. You're welcome to listen in, but they would be the ones in the chat, and we'll be chatting tomorrow. So come prepared to talk and, call in and chat and all of that wonderful things. Again, I wanted to do it today, but I'm coming down from yesterday. So I needed a minute there to get my brain back. So, but anyways, happy Fridays. Lots been going on. Around our faves. I mean, they're wherever they are. Maybe they're back in Montecito. Of course we know that Montecito were having issues. Well, really, most of Southern California, Northern California, were having big issues earlier in the week with really hurricanes there, and really horrible weather. And of course, it never rains in Southern California, or however the song goes, especially Southern California. It's like it never rains, it's hardly ever. And then all of a sudden, these downpours, and then flooding, flash floods, and a bit of a mudslide in Montecito. They have to evacuate everybody. So I don't know where they are with that, if they're back in Montecito or if they have been staying elsewhere. We haven't heard anything about their like property loss or anything like that for them. I know other people who are really low down. There's some people who are like boating down the street. And so it seems like they're fine. But again, when it rains in California, at least it just rains. It just, man, those floods look crazy. But seems like everything is getting back to normal there. So that is great. All the prayers, I'm sure, worked. And it seemed there was a child that they was lost, but and no other person that I've heard was lost in Santa Barbara. I know others have in other parts of California, but it's crazy. It's been crazy over there. Oh, wait, it's still storming. In the theta free high. I said it's still storming here in California. Oh my God. So the weather is still crazy. Okay. I hadn't checked it since yesterday. So I just assumed that it was calming down a little bit. I mean, honestly, California need the water, but when it haven't rained in such a long time, and then there's such a deluge, then it gets really crazy and it gets really dangerous. So I'm just hoping that it calms down, and again, I'm glad there's water, but shoosh, that was a lot in a very short space of time. Dolores, excuse me. Dolores says she started reading, got a book from Barnes and Noble. Can't wait for Amazon. I can't wait for Amazon. I cancel them. It's just weird. It's like Amazon, for some reason, again, Spare's been doing so well all over the world. It's just like I think some places are just overwhelmed, and it's amazing. It's like, well, um yeah, I just saw something from France where it's like, I guess they ran out, and they got like a new stock of them. So everybody wants to read Spare. Someone just posted before I came on that apparently they were in the airport, and they were like, the amount of people in the airport reading Spare is ridiculous. So I guess that's people's they're gonna fly, and you're gonna be stuck in an airplane, you might as well read Spare. So uh it's really amazing that it's just everyone wants to read this book. And obviously Shutter Island, we'll talk about that in a second, they are going crazy. Alma says, Pedal, it seemed like we Californians are under a flood watch still. Wow. And I'm in Southern California, and my daughter's in Northern California. Still too much rain. Wow. Yeah, it's like it seemed, because I saw some pictures of this town that I didn't, well, I was saying the last episode that this guy kind of went after me because I had posted about Montecito. I mean, only because I knew, Harry and Meghan were there, and Oprah and Ellen. That's all the people I know of in Montecito. So those are the people I mentioned. And he was very upset that I didn't mention his town. And I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't know your town even exists. It's the first time I'm hearing it. But apparently, like there were main breaks and stuff like that. So it completely flooded their town. That on top of the rain. And so it's a pretty miserable going in Northern California. So it's crazy in California. So we'll definitely be keeping you all in our prayers, Alma. Definitely, definitely, definitely. And again, it's more so dangerous because, especially if you're in the hills or something up there, especially when it hasn't rained for such a long time, and then you have this deluge, and you're at risk of mudslides. And so it's crazy. And so we are definitely going to be keeping you guys in our prayers. So um, ooh, let's see. Jay Patterson says, started reading my copy, so beautifully written. It is. It really is. I mean, there some people are putting together these videos on Twitter and just some of it is hilarious. Harry is very funny. He's hilarious. Some things is like, really? Harry just said that? When he's talking about that frostbitten thing. Like, ooh. And it's very funny. And I love his rawness. I love his openness. It's just like, here it is. Here is who I am. And it just is very funny. um, let's see. I was like scrolling up. Before I jump into what we're gonna talk about. Frederica says, still waiting on my book to come over from England. Oh, so you got it? Did you get it from Amazon UK or something? Um, I'm assuming you're getting the hard copy. It's so funny because I was gonna have my mom share mine, and she's like, no. I want the she's not into that, like reading from a pad or something. She is all into. She needs to get the hard, the paperback one or the cover one, and so that's what she is going to get. So a lot, and I understand that some people like to touch the pages and they can turn the pages. I'm not here for that. I'm like, I don't want any. That's just too much. I just rather put it on my pad and read it from there, or just listen to it. So, but some people, I totally get that. They want to, you want to feel the pages and all of that stuff. So that's good. That's definitely cool. So, anyways, oh, I love this picture. I just love, and I'm assuming this is Botswana when they were there. I'm assuming I'm assuming that's where that was. And I just love this picture. It's just so beautiful. And it's just like, oh. And they are like eternal bare feet people. They just don't like shoes. And I love that. It's one of the things that I noticed from the Harry and Meghan docuseries. That whole family are just not into shoes. And when you see Meghan out, she has the fancier shoes, whatever. But when they're home, it's bare feet. And I love it. They just, love feeling the earth under their feet. I love it. And so, apart from Spare doing amazing, obviously, as we know, all over the world, and number one, the book, apparently it's the amount of books sold so far has overtaken the Obama's book, and it just is. Again, everybody wants to read this book, and but apart from Spare doing amazing, Netflix, Heart of Invictus, and I love Netflix. They're like, well, if Spare is out there, we might as get some publicity for Heart of Invictus, and I love it because in the middle of the Harry and Meghan docuseries, when that's doing fantastic, what do? They put out, Lift the Lead, and yeah. That's fine, that's doing its thing. And now they've put out Netflix UK put out Heart of Invictus Summer 2023. This new series from Archwell Production follows a group of extraordinary competitors from around the globe, all service members who have suffered life-changing injuries or illnesses on their road to competing at the Invictus Games. And I like, oh, because we weren't really sure. I assumed that it would be close to the games, which obviously we know it's going to be coming up in September in Dusseldorf, Germany. So this is perfect. This is absolutely perfect. We don't have a specific date as yet, but I'm sure that's coming up. I'm sure that's coming up soon. That we'll find out. But I love Invictus. They're like, whoa, since you're talking about Prince Harry and he's talking about Afghanistan and all of that, why not we just, put this in there? And so people know that other things are coming up other than the royal stuff, and also, Netflix, this is another one of their tweets. They said Netflix will not only give you access to the biggest games in golf and tennis and racing, as well as the Invictus Games, but we are proud to announce 3 new docuseries, and those are, 3 other docuseries apart from Heart of Invictus. And right on that, Invictus Games Dusseldorf replying to Netflix says, and in September, you can see the story continue live and in Dusseldorf. And I love it. They're like, well, since the world is paying attention to Harry, why not just why not just sit here and advertise all of this? So it is fantastic. I love it. I love Netflix. I like, we can jump on anything. As long as there's cameras and people talking, we'll let you know what we're doing. So I love it. I love their initiative. They're taking charge of their publicity. And I love this. This is Plymouth Life's an outlet in the UK, and it says, and we've talked about, I think we talked about in the last couple of episodes, or at least the last episode, I think I talked about it, about how the Daily Mail, especially, and other tabloids have been pursuing veterans and their families to say bad things about Harry, even before the book came out. And we know in that whole hubbub about Harry talking about his kill count in Afghanistan, a few of fellow soldiers, one of whom he actually wrote about in the book, and I'm not there yet, but lovingly about him. He was basically telling Harry to shut up, and it's one of those things where the tabloids got a hold of him, misquoting, as we know before the book came out, misquoting that whole, leaving off the context of what it was saying, and then basically just, I guess, fed them and paid them money to say negative stuff about Harry. And so a lot of them fell for that. Not a lot, but quite a few of them fell for it, including forces.net, which is the armed forces news outlet. And they, went so far as they were tweeting stuff from the Taliban and all of that mess that the tabloid was doing. Forces.net, with no context, went ahead and was doing that. And I really appreciate JJ. JJ, one of Harry's friends, obviously, you remember JJ, whose life he always credits Harry for saving his life. They had also approached him as well, and he's like, no, I didn't read this book, I am not going to be speaking about it, so anybody take my words out of context. And he was smart enough to be like, no, and others were like, no, we're not going to say anything. So this one soldier, he spoke to Plymouth Live, and he says, Prince Harry's Devon friend and ex-Marine defends Taliban kill confession. It's so weird how they phrase these things. But Lee Spencer, former Royal Marine from Yelverton, served 3 tours in Afghanistan and is friends with Prince Harry. The former Royal Marine from Devon has defended Prince Harry and slammed critics who claims he's boasting about his Taliban kills. Lee Spencer from Yelverton says nobody is giving Harry's side of the story. Lee, who completed 3 operational tours in Afghanistan, as well as tours of Northern Ireland and Iraq during a 24-year career with the Royal Marines Commando, he said the claims of people slinging mud at Harry do not reflect the Harry we know. After the release of his book, he says, another clip said, he says, if he knew how many people he had killed during his tours, he would have no qualms discussing that. And if he had to write a book, he would include it too. It would be a massively significant part of his life. And it's so funny, after the whole brouhaha about, oh, you shouldn't do your kill gun, you shouldn't say it, you shouldn't, when people started pointing out that, this is not hidden, so many, Marines or former service veterans who have written memoirs have all put their kill counts in there. They all put it in there because it's not a secret. And for them to be like, claiming that he's boasting, obviously they, completely misrepresented what Harry said and lied about it and sensationalized it to get a reaction from people. And I just appreciated him. He hadn't read the book either. And he's like, no, I know Harry, I know him. And so he's like, if it was me, I'd do the same thing. I'd put it in there. And so, it's really just amazing. You talk to, and again, working from a piece of my heart, the play that I was talking about men and women who served in Vietnam, it just is one of those things. It's hard to not say, this it's I guess it's also a part of therapy, especially if that number is in your head and it plays in your head. Saying it is part of releasing that, and for people to, oh goodness. And I remember there's this guy who, I guess Piers Morgan brought him on his show. Somebody posted a video of it, and I guess he expected the guy to go after Harry, and the guy was like, no, if it was me, I would I would do the same thing. He's like, and he's like, yeah, I would have wished that I didn't kill more. I mean, he kept going on. I was just like, oh my gosh. And the hypocrisy of all of that is, this guy, same guy, wrote a memoir. He had his kill count in there. And the same Piers Morgan who is attacking Harry was praising the guy for his memoir. It's just like, are you serious? So I'm like, British people, are you okay? Are you really okay, British people who write for the British press? You guys are crazy. Thank you, Therese 1001. I appreciate your super sticker. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. It's funny. Away from that a little bit, we'll come back to Spare in a minute, but I saw it. It's so funny. I saw another outlet talking about this, and I wasn't really sure what was happening with this. But even though Varieties is still in my doghouse, they're the ones that had this article. And going back to Harry and Meghan, Netflix series. Amazingly, now if it says it's now on the Nielsen rating. I just, we knew it was on, we've been talking about it on the Netflix rating with the local, as in the US, or you can just punch up whichever country you want. It's just a long list of all the countries that Netflix, that they, you can find Netflix, and you can just look up the global, where they are globally. And it's so now, I wasn't even paying attention to Nielsen ratings. That's for usually, say, traditional television in the US. And so I wasn't expecting. So apparently, according to Variety, it says after debuting in the number 4 position last week, Harry and Meghan has risen to second place in the Nielsen's weekly streaming rankings with the debut of its second set of episodes. I was like, that was since in November. This is a late article, but okay. But apparently now we're getting those ratings, and it says series was watched by 1.7. The series was watched by 1.7 billion minutes during the December 12 to 18 viewing weekend window, during which its final episodes were available for 4 days. The mark has increased. This mark an increase of 34% in viewership from the December 5th to 11th viewing window, which included the first 4 days of availability of the 3 episodes. And it goes on to say Harry and Meghan was second only to Wednesday, which is the Addams Family offshoot. And so it's just like, oh goodness, 1.7 billion watch hours. It's just like, ooh, I love it. I absolutely love it. But it's very interesting that, Nielsen ratings. I was like, oh, okay. I was only focusing on the Netflix part of it. I wasn't thinking of the Nielsen part of it, but I was like, oh, thanks, Variety. More to celebrate for the Sussexes. And so moving on quickly, and we'll come to some in the chat from in a second. But this story, I'm telling you, when I talk about the British press, and sometimes I think sometimes we can get a bit like, oh, let's just ignore them, whatever, and we don't really understand. I think sometimes we don't have a full grasp on the kind of influence, misinformation, disinformation, straight out lies, and all the influence of grooming and that the British press do. And we don't sometimes appreciate how good they are at what they do. They are good. They are the best at grooming people. And you would see, like, if again, I don't really focus on royal stuff outside of Twitter, but the caliber of people, where be it government, be it engineers, be it doctors, be it I mean, the range is so vast of the people that have been so brainwashed by the tabloids that they cannot see straight. It is alarming how that is. It is just like people would literally put their reputations, their business, whatever, on the line if a tabloid tell them to. And if, especially if that tabloid is connected to the royal family. And we've seen that in the last 2 days play out in the most unbelievable ways. You know, a few days ago, we talked about this Gordy Gregg. He was appointed the new editor-in-chief of the Independent. And again, I've used the Independent on here before, especially their race reporter, Nadine White. And so they just got this, again, this new editor-in-chief, Jody Gregg. And if you look at the bottom where the arrow is down there, the bottom, right under that picture, we'll get to him and Camilla in a second. He is the former editor of the Daily Mail, and I think also the Mail on Sunday. And this is the guy that is now at the Independent. And he's the same Gordy Gregg that is one of Camilla's besties. And when Camilla and Prince Charles, or now King Charles, were looking to find a press secretary, their head person to deal with the press, who did Camilla turn to? Her bestie, this one, Jody Gregg. And it was with his, recommendation that they hired Tobin Andre, or however he says his name. And Tobin, was an editor also from the Daily Mail. And so it is just incredibly ridiculous. And again, you're seeing with the royal family, you're seeing their relationship with the press, and they're not just, they are besties. We saw the same thing with Jeremy Clarkson. We saw the same thing with Piers Morgan. They are friends. And so even though we saw what Jeremy Clarkson did, we saw Camilla, no one in the royal family spoke out because, again, they are friends. And so this guy from the Daily Mail, Camilla's best friend, is now the editor-in-chief of the Independent, who was, as it claimed, was sort of like independent, doing its own thing. It wasn't that, it wasn't, it has its gossipy moments, but it wasn't the Daily Mail. And so now the other day we talked about this article, and if you watch the Stephen Colbert interview, Harry even related this article. He talked about this article where all of a sudden, and again, Jody Gregg, he was literally, I don't think it's even 2 weeks yet that he became the editor of the Independent. And what happened? The first article comes out, and Prince Harry kidnapped by a cult of psychotherapy. And if you looked at the online version of that, is the cult of psychotherapy and Meghan. That's what it said. And it is just, this is like what you expect from the Daily Mail. And if that wasn't bad enough, the Independent came up with this TJ Maxx, in Spare. Harry talks about, going to shop, discount shop at TJ Maxx when they have like their clearance sale at the end of the year. So what did the Independent do in the way that the Daily Mail would do it? Run over to the Independent, because we need to claim that Harry is a liar. We need to make sure that, we just go after his book and pick out every single thing and fact check it to death and pick out every single thing to basically brand him a liar so nobody would believe anything he says, because if they believe what he says, then we're going to have to explain our relationship with the royal family, and then people are going to be, talking about what is really happening in the royal family according to Spare. So we can't let that happen. So we're going to go after every business or entity that Harry names in his book to prove him a liar. So in jumps the Independent, Daily Mail Part 2, runs over or calls up TJ Maxx and put out this headline: TJ Maxx denies Prince Harry's claim about shopping retailers' annual sale. And you're thinking like, okay, if I was TJ Maxx and Prince Harry put me in his book This worldwide book that everybody and their TK Maxx in the US. If you're in the TK Maxx in the UK. If you're in the US, it's TJ. It's the same company, just go by different. TK in the US, TJ in the TK in the UK, TJ in the US. But yeah, I mean, I was saying, like, if you're, TK Maxx at this point, you're like, boy, I would want that publicity. I would want everybody to know. But the influence of British tabloid, where you would have I don't know, other than the US, where else they are in the world. I would assume more places. You would think they would be like, whoa, great publicity for us. But instead of that, no, TK Maxx, oh no. No, we don't have annual sales, And if you look at the bottom, it says TK Maxx denies Prince Harry's claim about shopping the retailer's annual sales. The Duke wrote about buying his everyday clothes in the department store in his memoir. I mean, they would be like, why would you even deny something like that? Again, you would think they would be excited about the publicity, but no. Again, the power of them. It says TK Maxx denied Prince Harry's claim about shopping at the retailer during its yearly sale, where he mentions in his memoir, Spare. In his book, which is released on the 10th of January, the Duke of Sussex reflects on buying from TK Maxx during the once-a-year sale. However, TK Maxx has now responded to the royal claim, noting that its stores don't do sales. That's right. TK Maxx says, we don't do sales. And you're like, are you serious? Which was everyone's comments yesterday, other than the nutcases who would believe that nonsense. Not only that, TK Maxx in 2013, and I'm gonna move my little banner there again. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead. As you can see, in 2013, TK Maxx they even tweeted about Harry being in their store, in their discount store. And the same, TK Maxx who claimed, we don't do sales. Here is TK Maxx. Happy New Year, lovely followers. Loving the January sales at the moment. Everyone found any good bargains? Also, TK Maxx, we love Friday payday for one last January clearance spree. Don't miss out on the remaining store, online. I mean, it is just so ridiculous. And then, even Scobie jumped in on the best. He's like, I can't believe I'm dragging TJ Maxx. I did not have that, in my card to be dragging TJ Maxx. I mean, TK Maxx literally sat there on Twitter claiming, or at least to the article claiming, they don't do sales. Same TK Maxx. Look at them. Tabloid, Mirror. TK Maxx has a 90% off clothing, homeware, and more in a massive summer sale. And it's just like, TK Maxx, literally, they're tweeting this. The ultimate flash sale. The same one that don't do sales. And all, it's just like final summer sale. It's just like, and so tons, and it's in the thousands by now, people tweeting about their huge sales. TK Maxx, best time to get a bargain. Literally, this was a couple of days ago. They literally tweeted this a couple of days ago, January 12th, 2023. Best time to get bargain, a huge TK Maxx clearance sale. And you're like, are you serious? And it is it's unbelievable. Again, I think that's one of the things that everyone is saying. It's like, they can't believe, why would a retailer who, you want people to come to your store, say that to it. Now you look at, again, Independent is now like Daily Mail Part 2, a tabloid. Why would you risk the reputation of your store to lie? It's something that is easily verifiable. Just Google. And it's all there. Why would you do that and just completely put your store in a position where people are now mocking, calling you a liar. I mean, it's ridiculous. And why would they do that? This reason. TK Maxx is a partner with Prince Charles, Princess Trust. Here is Princess Trust tweeting about TK Maxx. At TK Maxx UK and HomeSense UK have been a partner of the Princess Trust since 2013 and are one of the Trust's largest delivery partners of the Get Into Retail program. Read more about our partnership here. And TK Maxx also tweets them. You can see on the right here is Prince Charles with TK Maxx. It says, to celebrate our successful partnership with the Princess Trust and their Get Into Retail program, our royal guests visited our Tooting store today. What an honor! To thank you, HRH Prince of Wales. And that was in 2020. Prince of Wales, Prince Charles, visiting TK Maxx and its employees. And if that's not bad enough, TK Maxx's LinkedIn profile, Mr. Tony Slipman, guess who he's handshaking with? That's right, that's Prince Charles, or now King Charles. And it is really crazy when you realize how deeply embedded the royal family is with the British press, with corporate UK. It is crazy that they are literally willing to risk their reputation and a bold-faced lie. And I don't think they thought people would fact check them. I mean, I also have to think like, okay, what is the Daily Mail or other tabloids offering these corporations? Is it free publicity, free something, for them to risk the reputation of their company to just lie like that? And again, if it's not for Sussex Squad and, the few others out there, nobody would be fact-checking this. We would have never known about this relationship with TK Maxx and the royal family. And I was like, wow, that is so deep that they're willing to risk the reputation of their company to just lie like that, just to discredit Prince Harry. It is unbelievable. And if you think that's bad, Prince Harry wrote in his book, he says, we swore that he'd never staged any photos, that's Meghan and her dad, that he hadn't taken part in any such charade, and he didn't know the pap in question. Meg whispered to me, I believe him. In that case, we told him, leave Mexico right now. A whole new level of harassment is about to rain down on you, so come to Britain. Now, we'll arrange an apartment where you can hole up safely until your flight. Air New Zealand, first class, booked and paid for by Meg. We would immediately send a car with private security to pick him up. He said he had things to do. Now Meg face changed. Something was up. She turned to me again and sighed. He's lying. And that is a portion of Harry's book, trying to get Thomas Markle to the UK, trying to get him out of Mexico, trying to, booking him a flight, all of that stuff, first class, whatever. Seemingly very innocent, just talking about the main thing there is getting to, the main context of everything is literally just to get Thomas Markle to the UK for the wedding. So what does the British press do? And I didn't use the Daily Mail and stuff. I used this one, but they're all tabloids. What did they do? Let's fact check to make Harry look like a liar. Let's do one and let's do another and try to get our groomed, royalists and the stupid people who believe our nonsense. Let's go after. Oh, did he say, they booked a first class flight in Air New Zealand? Let's call up Air New Zealand and give them whatever we need to make sure that they will also lie and claim that Prince Harry is a liar. So off we go to Air New Zealand, and here we go. However, the airline debunked the claim, saying, we don't offer first class tickets, and it has never operated a flight between Mexico and the UK. The air service told the New Zealand Herald that it only offers business premier. We've never had flights between Mexico and the UK. We've only had business premier, an Air New Zealand spokesman told the outlet. And If that's not enough, Air New Zealand decided, let's troll the Sussexes. This is their Twitter, introducing Sussex class, apparently coming soon. And that's from Air New Zealand. And you think, wait a minute, this is an airline again, a business that wants customers. You would think that, again, you are in a book that is worldwide that, you would think you would need, especially now with COVID and all of that stuff happening. You would think this is not a time to be going after your former customers. This is not a time for you to be like, okay, let's dump on one for a few 15 minutes of fame. But here we are. Again, the power of the press. And you would think, okay, are you serious? There are no flights to New Zealand. So in some stuff, and this is their travel section, and it says, Air New Zealand used to fly between Los Angeles and London until the pandemic hit. Celebrities love Air New Zealand service. It was a welcome break for US and British carriers. The paparazzi would have also been all over the main carriers, so putting her dad, this is Meghan, on an Air New Zealand would make sense. So Meghan may have booked the ticket through Air New Zealand from Mexico to London. In that case, United Airlines, Air New Zealand Star Alliance partner, would have flown the Mexico leg, while Air New Zealand would have done the transatlantic service. This trip could have been booked and ticketed through Air New Zealand. Again, this is their travel talking. This ticket could have been booked through Air New Zealand, giving the impression it was an Air New Zealand service all the way. In the middle of an international scandal, I imagine Meghan isn't sitting there looking at code-share flight numbers and wondering if it's going to be an Air New Zealand plane or not. Secondly, Meghan would have booked business premier, which to someone who has no idea sound like it could be a premium version of business. In other words, Air New Zealand's version of first class. Again, Harry said Thomas Markle's ticket was first class. And to back that up, in 2018, HotLiving.com did a review of Air New Zealand. And this is what they said. It says, what to expect when you book the Air New Zealand first class experience. At the bottom, it says, what to expect is the Air New Zealand first class experience. The first class experience in Air New Zealand may not be called first class. It is actually titled, its actual title is Business Premier. And on the right, you see the first class experience in New Zealand may not be called first class. The actual title is Business Premier. Now, any reporter worth anything would have asked, well, do you have an equivalent to first class? But that's not the narrative. Right? That's not the narrative. We want the narrative out there that Harry is lying. Therefore, we're just going to go with Air New Zealand has no first class, and Air New Zealand does not fly from Mexico to London. Two things could have happened from what Harry said. From where Thomas Markle is to LA is 2 hours. You can drive from Tijuana, where he was, or however he gets there, to LA for a couple of hours and then take your flight in LA, which could have been the case because they said they're going to put you up in an apartment until your flight. Or, as the article was saying, they could have had a connection. One of their partners fly the Mexico leg and another fly the LA leg. So none of this none of this was impossible, which is what most likely was supposed to happen. But as we know, Thomas Markle decided not to come. And it's so ridiculous. And again, the power of tabloid news. And again, sometimes we can be a little bit flippant, like, oh my gosh, they're just tabloids. We don't pay attention to them. But it's so important that we pay attention, because if a tabloids could have, again, these are businesses. These are businesses that are looking, they need customers to come in. And if you can get them to basically go against their own interests by going after Harry, they're literally going after their own interests. In doing that, because now both of them are now being called out as liars. And so it's kind of like that is the power that they have. And it's just like, so for me, it's just like, wow, that all of these, and I haven't seen any yet. Would I be shocked if they are, if they have a connection to the royal family? Of course I won't. I haven't seen yet that, if they're related in any way to the royal family. But this, I mean, the utter stupidity. And again, it's one of those things that I don't think people realize, that there are going to be people that fact check them. And in jumps the squad. And it's unbelievable that it's kind of like, I guess, a lot of businesses don't realize that there's something somewhere, and they're going to learn. They're learning pretty fast, because I'm sure TJ Maxx will think twice, especially would think twice about doing something that stupid again. And I'm sure New Zealand Air is good. They're going to think twice about doing something that stupid again. But I reiterate this, is like the kind of power that the press has over businesses and stuff. Give them some free publicity. Oh, just say this. It's okay. And then it's it's unbelievable. And so it literally blows my mind. But again, the whole thing about that is they would do anything right now. They are doing anything to distract from what Prince Harry says in the book. And so that's what on Twitter we're like, oh, no. We figure that they're just distracted. This is just distracting, because one of the things you realize, not one of them has really challenged anything Harry has said about the family. They cannot challenge it, even to the point where, Harry calls out reporters, and we're going to get to that in a bit. But Harry calls out reporters for lying stories that they have written. Not one of them have challenged it. Not one of them has challenged, his interactions with William and Kate or his fathers. They can't challenge that. So what they do is they try to distract people with periphery stuff that means nothing. I mean, there's like the stupid Xbox stuff, and it's just like, that tells you right away they haven't read the book. Because if you read the book, I mean, literally, if you read the entire paragraph, that whole stupid Xbox thing is completely explained. And it's just like, are you serious? Again, they are going to pull anything to make sure that you are distracted from that book, because they don't want us talking about Prince Charles and Camilla in bed with the tabloids. They don't want us talking about, Prince William's abusive behavior and also their relationship with the tabloids. They don't want us talking about their abusive behavior against the Sussexes. So they're going to put any kind of shiny thing there and dangle anything to get a headline. They can scream that Harry is lying. It is unbelievable when you see it play out in front of you. It's just like, wow. So anyway, I'm going to jump into the chat for a second, see what you guys are saying, and we'll get back to other stuff. Wait, I just lost that there. Emran, this thing just jumps. Emran says Harry's only crime was to marry a mixed race woman. These businesses are behaving as if they can't read between the lines. They can't. I mean, a lot of them I don't think are in this space. A lot of them are not, we're in this space and we pay attention to what the tabloids are doing. And they're not, I think a lot of them are more, because they're more business, they're more dealing with, people on a professional level. I mean, I'll talk about it in our next, it was just too many things in our next episode. But there was this one guy, and I think he was a researcher, I think, in like psychedelic drugs and all of that, a drug researcher. And he did an interview, and he was a US guy, and who really doesn't know much about he said he didn't know much about the Daily Mail. And the Daily Mail, he did this interview with the Daily Mail on psychedelic drugs and all of that stuff. And obviously what happens, exactly what you would think that happens when you give somebody like that, when you talk to someone like that, you give somebody like the Daily Mail an interview like that, and they're putting that around Prince Harry. 99.99999% of that percent chance that they are going to twist that and manipulate it in all forms and manner. And which is what they did to the interview they did with him. So he went on Twitter and wrote this whole thread about how horrified he is about what the Daily Mail did. And he's like, I would never do that again. He was just like so apologetic. He's like, I never thought, he didn't think. And he's like, his research had nothing to do with Prince Harry. But of course, the Daily Mail is what it is. And so it is sick. And people are getting really harsh lessons on what happens when you deal with the Daily Mail. And especially as a professional, it's literally you're throwing your pearls to pigs. That's what they did. And now he, wrote this whole thread about, and I'll pull it in the next, the next episode. But, lesson learned for him. But I'm at the point where it's like, look, if y'all on Twitter, if you guys are on social media, you got to be a lot more aware, especially in dealing with press. And all you got to do is you have Google them, Google their reputation. Google doesn't use them as a source, not even Wikipedia. Wikipedia stopped using the Daily Mail as a source of factual information. When Wikipedia drop you, you're bad. Just do research. And they haven't, so very interesting. Let's see. Dolores says at one time the guidance wasn't bad, but it's starting to I think you mean the Guardian wasn't bad, but it's starting to get in bed with the royal family. Yep. Yes. I mean, they, a couple of years ago, they did the big exposing of, say the race laws that the Queen was exempt from, which I think Prince Charles is still exempt from. Oh, King Charles, I should say. They exposed what did they expose? They exposed that, and the immunity from the environmental laws in Scotland, and all of this stuff they exposed. But since they have been really very tabloidy in a lot of ways, so yeah, they're all following under that. Maverick says the British media is a cult. It is literally a cult. It's a cult mafia, and I will put the royal family and all of them, the politics, the royal family, the government, royal family, the press. It's like a cult. It is literally a cult. It is really like unbelievable. And again, with them, if they can't control you, they literally will kill you. They will kill you. They will pursue you in whatever ways they want to. I mean, again, look at what they did to, they didn't physically kill her, but at least who knows? But look what they did to Princess Diana. Look what they're doing to Harry and Meghan. In some form of ways, it's kind of like, if I can't have you, nobody else will. It is sick. It is really, really sick that they do, what they do. Let's see. Nathita says they talk about it with Lion Camilla Tominey, and she said that they do not get information from the palace. They asked her where did she get the story when she revealed their relationship. No comment. Yeah, I mean, every single, if you've seen any clips from the UK this past week when Harry was talking about how the palace leak, it almost looks like the palace gave them a line where every single one of them saying, oh, no, we never get leaks from the palace. We never get someone, I think this is the line, like, we never get someone from the call from the palace telling us about anything. It's like they all had the same line, and I believe it was a line coming from the palace. I'm like, yep, that's the narrative, and that's what they're selling. But they all have the same story, like, oh, no. We never get a call from them. Oh, no. Read their articles going back, and you'll see how very different how very, very different that narrative is. And of course we have Robert Jobson saying, yep, Lenses and Fowlers leak like a sieve. They can say that until they're blue in the face. We have Dan Wooten saying all that negative stuff coming from the back. I mean, we have tons and tons of video. Again, even a few weeks ago, this reporter was like, look, I worked in newsroom, and every single negative story that came from about Harry and Meghan came from Kensington Palace. We have loads of evidence that this is a lie. So Unbelievable. Yeah, but this is their narrative now. Oh, no, we've never gotten a call from Kendall. Sure. Sure. Um, let's see. Oh, 95KA says knew they wanted to see if Prince Harry wrote something about it in his book. Oh, not sure what you're talking about, what you're referring to. Maybe I'll run into it. Let's see. And he says Sussex Squad investigation. Those people, they I was just like, you do realize we're better than the FBI, right? So yeah, if you put nonsense there, expect that there's going to be fact checking. And so, yeah. And the funny thing about the people who are supposedly fact checking everything in Harry's book, they're the most lying people. Like, nobody fact checks their own articles. They would lie and lie and lie. But anything Harry and Meghan put out, they feel like they need to go through it with a fine tooth comb and call out all the lies. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Rootsy says, hi, oh, thank you. Thank you, Rootsy. Says, hi, beautiful pedal and squatties. I live in a small village, England. Was able to buy a discounted copy of Spare because my order was not being delivered. Can't wait to read. Did you also buy from Amazon? Because we're hearing that quite a bit. And I think it's because it's such a massive, everybody wants this book. And so, yeah, definitely hearing that. Even the Kindle version and the Audible version were delayed. And I was just very not happy, much not happy. I was very, very, very jealous of people who were reading it before me. Let's see. Allegedly Shady Shannon. Hello, allegedly Shady Shannon. How are you? Says Harry has never given Easter presents before. Why was it important now? Kate and William are weird. To say, those two are just odd and weird. I mean, apart from being abusive and nasty and just mean girl, and William being incandescent, it's just they are odd. I mean, I mean, maybe there are places where they do Easter presents and stuff like that. In the US, other than you getting Easter eggs and you go Easter egg hunting or something. Why would it bother them so much that they didn't get Easter presents? I don't understand. I'm like, you're weird. So it's just and petty. And I think that's one of the things too, is if nothing else, this book has humanized the royal family because they're like being behind, they have that mystique that they're better than God himself, so you need to bow down before them. And then this just humanizes them because they're so petty and just weird and just like, ew, that's what you're upset about, and it's just, and yeah, it just exposes their pettiness. And I guess it's, I'm sure they're embarrassed and, that the world know how petty they are. Official Lauren Brown says, true pedal, things they don't understand is that many in the squad are too brilliant to do their, are so brilliant and do their research. They wrongly underestimate Harry and Meghan and their supporters. Yeah, and many of them are learning the hard way. They are learning the hard way because it's like, before the TK Maxx nonsense, who knew about I had no idea about their relationship with the royal family. Now we know when they do something, yeah, we can point it straight back to their relationship with the royal. I mean, again, so many stories we've done that they're seemingly just really these things that just come out of nowhere, only to realize the deep connection they have with the royal family, So, unbelievable. Let's see. Karen Emma, awesome moderator, says, Pedal, I know Harry is grateful to Prince William for refusing to fund Harry's idea for the Invictus Games and making it a part of the Royal Foundation. I know. Oh my gosh. He's probably like, thank you, Jesus. Can you imagine Prince William being a part of the Invictus Games? Now, that would be horrendous. So, it just, talk about, escaping with that one, so yeah. And Prince William would give, he is still Even Robert Jobson a couple of years ago when he wrote his Prince William at 40, that horrible book about nothing, he talks about Prince William's jealousy of Harry over Invictus. Not that he would want to do anything, but just to have the title of it in it. So yeah, unbelievable. Let's see. Lex says, any question why Prince Harry is shopping budget while treating Harry like a red-headed stepchild? One of the things with Harry is is a guy's guy. Harry is like he said, clothes is not his thing. The honesty with that, I so relate to Harry because I am the same way. I would shop for, like yesterday when all that, stuff was happening, and I was like, okay, well, if I need to run out of my house, I quickly packed, which is something I had to learn. I was like, okay, that's not going to happen again. I'm going to make sure I have a suitcase packed with stuff in case we need to run out of here. But yesterday, I was like quickly packing the most important thing, valuable papers and stuff like that, quickly putting in stuff in case we had to leave and all of that stuff. And this is what I packed: very little clothes, my computer, my phone, my pen, and my camera. Those were, in my backpack. And those were the most important thing, and very little clothes. And I was like, oh my goodness, those are the things that were most important to me. Everything else I didn't care about. And I'm just saying, you would think you'd want to pack all your, clothes and all, and you make sure all your favorite clothes are there. And that is totally not even. I just packed in necessary pants, a top, a sweater, and shoes, and that, sneakers, and that's it. And everything else was electronic stuff. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. And so I totally relate to Harry with this. He is not a clothes person. And for him, just going to TJ Maxx, getting some discount stuff, it's like, he talks about, drying his clothes in a radiator. Like, yeah, I could see that. I could totally see that. I mean, I don't dry my clothes in a radiator, but, hey, I could totally see it, And so that's one of the things. And he talked about, getting a budget. When they give him a budget, is mostly for formal stuff. So he didn't have a budget for casual wear. So he waited until there were discounts, which is why this whole TK Maxx thing blew up. And the funny thing is that the Mail and all of those people, they have pictures of Harry. They literally were writing about him coming out of TK Maxx in 2013. TK Maxx, even, as we saw in the picture, they even tweeted about him doing it. That's why his thing. He's just not into, as for regular clothes, it's just not into, just some jeans and t-shirt, and he's fine. Meghan, on the other hand, she's very much into fashion. That's her thing. And it's very cool, but he's just not, but again, his shopping budget, as he said, was as for formal wear, I guess, for mostly when he does engagements and stuff like that. But it's really wild that, again, he has King Charles had, Prince Charles then, millions from the Duchy farms and all of that stuff, and inheritance and all of that stuff. And you have your child living like, God, in this house that looks like a broken down dollhouse with, not even build a closet to put his, I mean, it's just like, it's ridiculous. And at the time, I guess as a bachelor, he didn't care. So it's like, okay, it's just a place to put my head. I don't, And I think that's the kind of guy Harry is. Not fussy in any way. Didn't, That's funny. Let's see. Terry says, they're really trying hard to get people not to buy the book. They just can't deal with how successful the book is. And yeah, you're so right, Terry. And they haven't learned. The more they scream about it, the more people want to see. Like, they literally have not learned that lesson yet. You would have thought they would have learned that lesson with Oprah. You really would have thought that. And they just can't seem to learn it. But, I'm sure Harry is not. It's like, okay, y'all keep screaming. I'm just going to keep making money, So, let's see. Going up. Let's see what you're saying. Or scrolling down. I think you're it. Natita, I think you're it. Says, if you notice, Meghan is a casual person also. She dresses when she has engagements. Yeah, Meghan is very California, slippers, just like flats or slippers, whatever, and shorts and the shirt. That's her whole vibe. They're very, very casual people, but when they go out, of course, they dress to the nines, but very casual, running around bare feet. Um, let's see. M says TK Maxx just lost a valuable prince. Meghan is taking good care of Harry. Yeah, and it's so funny. TJ Maxx in the US actually, and I forgot to bring that tweet in. They tweeted something positive about Harry, I think. So I'm like, that's the difference. It's like TJ Maxx in the US, even though they're the same company, that they go by TJ Maxx here in the US. They're not brainwashed like the ones in the UK. It's just like, again, anybody who is, if you're in retail, you want customers. You don't want to be doing stupid stuff that could turn people against you, where people could, it's just so stupid. It is really, really, really so stupid. Lex, thank you so much for your donation. I appreciate it. She says, isn't it weird that Camilla son work for YouGov instead of sources? The royal sources are quoting YouGov poll 1600 royal family supporters fishy. Yeah. Again, it's all, and they live for these polls too. They really, really live for, like, I've never seen that in my life in the US. They do polls, around, say, election, but it's like every other day there's a poll in the UK, and it's like, they again, country of 67 million people, or 61, I think 61 million people, I think is what it is now. They poll like 1,500, and the whole country says, it's just like, you people are crazy. You people are crazy. But Legs, thank you so much for your donation. I appreciate the support. Very much so. Joan Garcia says, Pedal, I remember when in the Harry and Meghan docuseries, Harry said the British royal family just makes up rules that don't exist. Easter gifts, right. They really can pick a nit. Yeah, they literally make up stupid stuff and then have an attitude about it. And it's just like, and Harry's like, who does Easter gifts? And it's like, what is wrong with you? Unbelievable. Raven says, I have questions about the dollars. Chuck said he had given his son the £4 million. So how much was I guess William and Kate getting compared to Harry? And there's a reason why they didn't say how it was divided. They threw it out there just like they always do. They knew that when they put out the 4 million, the press would twist it to make it look like that went to Harry and Meghan. But anyone in the squad who was tweeting about that for like ever when that came out, and if you know what we're talking about, when the Sovereign Grant came out, Prince Charles, who takes money from the duchy to pay for William and Kate and Harry and Meghan, they, part of the Sovereign Grant, they will put the report from Clarence House, which is Prince Charles and Camilla. And so a part of that, they put in, it was it 4 million or 4.5 million this time? But they also put in the amount of money that went to William and Kate and Harry and Meghan. And they just put the 4 million. And then they sent out to the press. They did, Prince Charles had his people release to the press that they sent Harry and Meghan a substantial amount. And so all you got was the 4 million that was allotted to William and Kate and Harry and Meghan, and the press person from Prince Charles saying it, that they gave Harry and Meghan a substantial amount. Well, exactly what is that substantial amount? Nobody knows, because why? They never said it, and they didn't say it for a reason, because we know, as heir to the throne, William would have gotten as he has always gotten. I mean, look at Harry describing their bedroom. I think, what was it, at Sandringham, I think? William getting the huge part and he just getting the little part. You know what I mean? And so we know he would get the majority of it. So by putting that out there, not specifying, people jumped on, oh, Harry's lying. His father didn't cut him off. And also his father gave him millions. which was we know it's a lie. And on top of that, at the same time that was happening, what they weren't publicizing as much is the fact that Harry and Meghan paid back their $2.4 million, which actually helped the sovereign grant because they had gone over. And because Harry and Meghan paid back their $2.4 million, the budget was kind of even. And they had to literally thank Harry and Meghan because of that money. And so it's ridiculous how they know that they can just, and that's the reason why, Charles and Camilla have the tabloids in their back, in bed with them, because they know they can just throw that out there and the tabloids would just play with it. Unbelievable. But Raven, I'm here with you. We know that Harry didn't get a lot of that. A lot of that went to, and, hopefully, I'm sure they're not going to put out there specifically their money. It's not their style. But, if he were ever to, I would bet that they did not get close to $4 million, especially since they left. So, yeah. Let's see. Maverick says if we were up to Harry would never wear shoes. That whole family hates shoes. They do. They really do hate shoes. I'm not surprised at Harry because I've always seen like Harry's like always doesn't like to wear shoes. I was surprised at Meghan. I didn't realize she was like that as well. So I was like, oh, wow, it's a family that hates shoes. So anyway, let's move on. Let's see what else I have. Let's get this off of there. Hang on 1 second. Oh, yeah, there we go. Thank you. Let's see. What else do I have we can talk about? Oh, this happened the other day. There's this guy named James Haskell. And it's really wild with British people. They are just so deceptive, so deceitful. And again, if it wasn't for the squad, we would know any of this stuff. He went on GMB a couple of days ago. His name is James Haskell. Went on GMB, and Richard Madeley, which is the guy on the left, he is one of the hosts of, he's one of the hosts of GMB. If you've never seen it, and for our squaddies in the UK, you already know that. So he is hosting the show. And he brings on James Haskell to his show, and he's asking him, about. Harry, and a lot of it was around Harry, the furor about Harry and the Afghanistan revelation and all of that stuff. And they were pretty much bringing on people to basically be on their side that, oh, he shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have revealed that and all of the stuff. Again, nobody in this, they had not read Harry's book when they were having all of this, furor about it. So James Haskell came on and he was supporting Harry. He's like, no, I think it's right. Harry needs to share his, he needs to talk about his, so many people in the press have been talking about him for all his life, and he deserves the right to be able to say, and tell people who he is and refute some of those lies and all of those things. So he was really on Harry's side. And basically Richard Madeley went silent. And he was trying to goad him into, criticizing Harry, and James Haskell wouldn't do it. And so he posted on his the video of his interaction on with Richard Madeley and his co-host on on Twitter, and he posted a video about it, and he's titled it His Take, and very complimentary and supportive of Harry's right to be able to tell his own story. And so I was like, oh, great. That is so awesome because, again, a lot of the people in the military, not a lot, but a few of them were also against Harry. And so I was really good to see this guy supporting and really gung-ho for Harry's right to be able to speak out. And so he posted there, and I even responded, thank you so much. And he said, and I have a book, check out my book. And I was like, great, I'll check it out and all of that stuff. And then one squaddy, again, squaddies, alerted us that this guy may not exactly be on the up and up about who he said he is going on the, on the show. And if you see the tweet in the middle, the top one that says, this is James Haskell a week earlier. This was his tweet when it first came out that William had attacked Harry in his kitchen and, knocked Harry down, and he cut himself in the dog bowl and all of that stuff. This is James Haskell. Do you want a brother who gets pushed into a dog bowl, or the other? I'm sorry. Do you want to be the brother who gets pushed into the dog bowl, or the brother who does the pushing? Learn how to become the latter. Buy my book. And this is him supporting William. Learn how to be the brother that does the pushing. Totally. I mean, how the excerpt from what happened with Harry's fight with William was it was available. Everybody read it. That was the first thing that came out. And here he is supporting William, attacking his brother and pushing him down. And here is James Haskell the week earlier being on William's side. And all of a sudden, switched up when he's on, when he's on Good Morning America. And you're like, oh my goodness. So when she posted out, we're like, what? Only to find out, not only is this guy, is not who he was claiming he was. Turns out that this guy is also the son-in-law of Richard Madeley. That's right. The guy on the left, James Haskell, is married to his daughter, as you can see. His daughter, Chloe, you can see it on the right. Chloe Madeley. Parents, Richard Madeley. Spouse, James Haskell. So Richard Madeley brought on his son-in-law on a show, his son-in-law who was trying to hawk his book on a show, on his show, pretending that, it's just the cast. And really, Haskell is on there. I guess he probably realized, oh, let me get those who support Harry to buy my book. The better way to go is to have, be there where people, and it's just like amazing. And not only is that, James Haskell is also on the Good, Bad, and the Rugby podcast. That's the podcast. He co-hosts that podcast with Mike Tyndall. That's right. Zara Tyndall's husband, the one who doesn't quite like Harry. And it's just like unbelievable, these people. And so after that, we're all like, dude, no, just no. And then, he got a little publicity from his father-in-law bringing him on GMB. So we saw a clip of him on Piers Morgan. Pretty much, he's hawking his book and basically using Harry to hawk his book. And it's unbelievable. And again, the only reason we knew that is Sussex Detective Agency. These people are going to learn. Unbelievable. Lex says it didn't sell his book. Now he wants to change the script. It's probably why GMB people were confused. He was playing a delicate balance, lie about them to get on TV, or his true feelings. Yeah, he definitely, you could tell Richard Madeley was a bit confused when he started flipping the script. I guess he probably realized, like, oh, wait, people who hate Harry may not buy my book. So let's flip it and go, the ones who like Harry, they will be, and all of a sudden, but it wasn't, I don't think, I saw, it's just a clip. I don't think on any of there that they, indicate that he was Richard Madeley's, son-in-law. And it's unbelievable how they do that. Yeah, it's just the world of royals. And again, he is on that podcast with Mike Tyndall. Unbelievable. Well, this made me laugh. I needed a laugh. Ever since I did that episode on Angela 11, I don't really talk about Angela 11 and her craziness anymore. But there's this parody account online. And the parody account says, in his memoir, Spare, Prince Harry claims that the name of the midwife who helped Diana deliver him was Meghan. He writes, and I remember distinctly Mommy calling out to Meghan right after she gave birth to me, thanking her. I think that's when I knew the name of my future soulmate. And so that's what this parody account wrote. And, the parody account is fun and, making fun of things. And this is how deluded Angela 11 is. Angela 11 literally copies the parody account and posted it as if it was fact. And in the end, she wrote, "Words fail me." Yes, Angela, I think words fail everybody that you would be so stupid as to copy a parody account as it's real. I'm like, these people are crazy. They are nutcases. I mean, literally, read what it says. You know, Harry is saying, I distinctly remember my mom calling me out right after she gave birth to me. Thinking, it's just like, and I have to tell you, I had to laugh. I'm like, thank you, Angela, the devil's child, for the laugh. Amazing. And then, as we were, if you've gone far enough in spare, Harry calls out some specific reporters and really drag them. And so BuzzFeed wrote an article about it. And the thing about BuzzFeed, Ellie Hall, is like, Ellie, instead of just trying to get a soundbite from them, ask them about the specific accusation or the specific thing Harry is correcting that they did. Instead of just asking them for a comment that the fact that Harry wrote about the mess that they wrote about him. So anyway, Camilla Tomedy, as you can see at the bottom, when they asked her about it, she declined to comment. But if you this is going to be a little bit of a if you don't want to hear, close your ears. This is going to be a giveaway a little bit of what it says on in spare. But this is Harry talking about this person, and that he doesn't name. He says, days later came the coup de grace from a royal correspondent, a sci-fi fantasy describing the growing frigor, oh good lord, between Kate and Meg, claiming that, according to two sources, Meg had reduced Kate to tears about bridesmaid dresses. This particular royal correspondent had always made me ill. She always got stuff wrong. But this felt even more wrong, he writes. Meg appreciated the apology from Kate, but wanted to know why the papers had said this and what was being done to correct them. In other words, why isn't your office standing up for me? Why have you phoned this execrable woman who wrote the story and demanded a retraction? He writes another excerpt. So when Ellie Hall contacted Camilla, she declined to comment, but she said this on her, on her page or Twitter page. She says, I wrote this Telegraph with this article, basically nuanced, balanced, not at all as H described, doesn't even apportion blame. The sun turned it into that. One of the many bloopers. This is Camilla Tomedy, who literally, Camilla Tomedy sat on this morning and they drilled her about this article that she defended all up and down the place, even when they were calling her out as lying. She was defending this article, that it was the truth. And here's Camilla Tomedy. All of a sudden, Harry calls her out and says, calls her the woman that makes him feel ill. As you know, how addicted Camilla, that must have been a punch in the gut, to know that she makes Harry ill because she's obsessed with him. All of a sudden, she is claiming her article was nuanced, balanced, and not at all as H describes. And it doesn't even apportion blame. And she points to that the Sun is the one that claims that Meghan made Kate cry, which is in a sense true because the Sun had that front page, but it's your article that they took that from, and it's just unbelievable. Well, not only did she, again, she said that, Robert Johnson, Harry calls him out too. And it was funny. This is what it says. Stories rolled in like breakers on the beach. First, a rubbish hit piece by a hack biographer of Pa who said, I had thrown a tantrum before the wedding, Harry writes. And so, yes, this is the hack because he's the one. That's where that whole story came from. That whole Meghan and that tiara story that, she wanted another one and that didn't happen. And Harry was screaming and claimed what Meghan wants. Meghan get that whole thing. That all came from Robert Jobson, which we've called him out numerous times on, you know. And notice Robert Jobson isn't saying that Harry didn't say that. Instead, Robert Jobson, in a statement to BuzzFeed, Jobson says, he refers to me as past Hawk biographer. Well, I don't have a problem with it. Pa is the king. And I wrote an acclaimed book about Charles at 70. That's the book where he put that in there. And I am currently, and he talks about his other book that he's writing, and it will be out before the coronation. And he goes on to talk about he is a Fleet Street reporter and a national newspaper journalist known, used to be known as a hack back in 33. So he's claiming he's proud of it, and all of that stuff. And it's just funny because the actual claim that Harry's talking about, he doesn't address any of that here. He doesn't address it that it was a lie. He is going off, oh, yeah, you can call me a hack, but I'm proud of it. I am a number one, whatever. And it's just like, yeah, but he's talking about what you said in what you said in your book. And notice, again, he doesn't address it. But it's really hilarious. Oh, we'll get back. It's really hilarious that, just to see their response, that none of them are claiming what Harry, all the ones that Harry refuted in the book, none of them are claiming that he's lying because they know. And that's why, especially Robert Jobson has been like, oh, guy, you can blow a gasket or something. That, he's been on Harry's case for writing this book. And again, I will always be convinced that he's been writing Harry at 40. And that's what he has to scrap. So now he can't do it, But it's for me, it's just very, very interesting just listening to, again, notice at the bottom, he's talking about, those factual errors in Harry's book. Camilla Tominey said the same thing. It's, again, they're not addressing what they did. They're playing it off and pushing it off. And then they're like, but Harry's making errors. And it's like, no, unbelievable. But anyway, let me go back into the chat and see what you guys are saying. Official Lauren Brown says, I hope to get more receipts in the next book. I hope we get more receipts in the next book about which Janina Gavankar hinted. I love seeing the text exchange with Kate. I love the truth bombs coming from Harry. Yeah, as with anybody, you're not going to put out all your receipts. I mean, this book has a whole lot. So you're not going to put out all your receipts. You're going to hold back some for, for other things. Because they're going to come with something. And so you hold those other, stuff. But yes, those receipts with Kate was very, very eye-opening, And there was even an article because the book talked about, and Meghan said, go meet AJ, who's been the guy who's repairing the kids' clothes. He's been waiting until, since 8:00 in the morning, go see him. And, of course, I guess Kate fussed until she like, fine. And AJ apparently did an interview with the Daily Mail. It's just like, oh God, people. And, he's like, well, I didn't see any of those things, but yeah, we really worked hard and making sure the dresses were there. So he confirmed that he was there and that they took care of the dresses. And he's like, it was stressful. I could see how people were crying, but it was stressful. And yeah, but it's funny how nobody is claiming that Harry's lying about that. Interesting. Joan says, after playing the spare audio in my feed, I'll delete or hide pop-up articles on British royal family members. After playing spare on audio on my feed, I'll delete or hide pop-up articles of it. Are you just getting rid of them? You don't want to deal with them anymore? I'm assuming that's what you mean, Joan. Amazing. Trish Nelly says, this is exactly why I can't eat Captain Crunch anymore without a bra breast in cereal bowl. Trish Nelly, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Is that part of the spare that I missed? What are you talking? That's funny. That's why I can't eat Captain Crunch without a bra. Breast is in the cereal bowl. Okay, between Harry and his frostbite and Church Nelly's breast. I love it. Ah, that's funny. Oh my goodness. I absolutely agree with you. Trish Nelly needs open up her own comedy club. I absolutely. And she catches you off guard with the things she says because I wasn't that was not in the things I was thinking I was gonna be reading today. Trish Nelly's breast is in a cereal bowl. I didn't plan on that one. Unbelievable. Lydia says the next book, I hope he calls out more reporters and their lies by name. I know, right? But I think the reason why he doesn't call, because that just give them clout. And so it's one of those if you know you know things with you, yeah, because you again that's punching down, and to punch down will just give them clout. Dan Wooten, even though he called Dan Wooten a sad little man, he didn't use Dan Wooten's name, but Dan Wooten has been using it for clout. He has been like, Harry called me a sad little man. You would think other people would be like, ooh, maybe let's go under a table and hide myself. But no, even being referred to as a sad little man, Dan Wooten is using it for clout. And it's just, British people are weird. Well, I mean, he's from New Zealand, but I'm sure no New Zealander will claim Dan Wooten. I'm sure none of them were claiming. Other than his family, nobody is claiming Dan Wooten. So, yeah. I don't know. Who knows? Piers Morgan must be. I don't know if he's in the book. I haven't read that far to see if he's in the book. At least what I've read so far, I haven't seen him. But if he's not in the book, I am sure he probably is pulling his hair out. It's like, I've done all of this. I've done the most to be sure that I'm in that book. And Harry doesn't even refer to me. Ooh, narcissists. Ooh, they want to be recognized. They want to be known. Let's see. So I go by Trish Nelly's tweets about her boobies. You are funny. I love it. Joan says, Angela has been drinking something again. I think Angela has been drinking many somethings, to be honest. I would say many somethings, unbelievable. Annie says, if the book about Harry are not written by Harry himself, I won't buy it. Here. I am the same. I am right there with you. Unless Harry and Meghan write about it, I don't want to see it. So, which of course is the reason why they're all hating on Harry, because Harry gets to get all of the proceeds from his book. It's not going through them. Yes, I'm sure there are articles. There are millions of articles that they're going to write. They're going to get something, but they don't control Harry's narrative. So there you go. Let's see. Official Lauren Brown says, Joanna, I think you're right. Oprah opinions carry sway with everybody. Her condemnation has weight to it. I'm not sure what you mean. Oprah condemned something? Let me know what you mean. Let's see. Terry says, so he's two-faced, trying to ride on Harry's success to push sales for his book. Yes, that's what James Haskell was doing. Very two-faced. Very, very, very two-faced. Lex says, I'm glad the squatties have get receipts. I'm telling you, that's our middle name. That is our middle name, receipts. And that's why the British press, that's why they hate us. Because, yeah. Because we would call them out. Nobody, other than a few, no one else really calls them out and with receipts. And that's why we can throw their articles right back in their faces, because we have receipts. So official says sometimes when people want to promote, they go to very odd lengths and completely do not read the room. RE, how tasteless this style of approach is. It looks desperate to me. It very much is desperate. Very, very much is desperate. So yeah. Very desperate. Lydia, awesome moderator, says he's playing the middle. Someone called him out yesterday. Many someone's called him out. Many people. And they were also throwing his tweet where he was supporting Prince William right back at him. And with everyone's like, we're not buying your book. I was actually even willing to go check out his book, and I was like, oh no, dude, no. So Bertha Stevens says Guinness World Record just said, "Ooh, Harry's book is the fastest selling nonfiction of all time. I just saw it on Twitter. Oh my Lord. Thank you for breaking this news, Bertha. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. And the thing about the royal family is none of this, none of this should have happened. None of this. And now it's so funny. Peter Hunt posted where Kate and William were on some event yesterday at a hospital, and they claim like, oh, crowds were there, and come to find out, no, it's just hospital staff were there and patients, supposedly, and people were asking them, did you read the book? And it may have been, I think it was a reporter, whatever. But this is what needs to happen. The royal family needs to change. Reporters are starting to really talk about the fact that how the royal family is run and all of that needs to change. It cannot go forward. Too many people know what is happening now. That's why they've always wanted that veil, that secrecy, so people don't know. Nobody is fooled now. No matter what the tabloid press says, people aren't fooled anymore. And so this royal rota going there to be their PR arm and just not saying them, just photographing them and filing this ridiculous reports without questioning them about stuff, that's not sustainable. It's not sustainable, because why the reporters and their paper are the ones that are going to suffer, because the audience buying the stuff, they're going to want more. Now that Harry has put it out there, they're going to want more. They want to have answers. The royal family are going to have to change this no complaint, well, which is ridiculous anyway, but going to that and not, walking out and not leaving a comment, not commenting on to reporters and all of those things. If they were wise, they would get rid of the rota. And, now that they're in a place where it's kind of, you either get legit, as legit as you can get in the UK. I don't know how legit you can do, but you have to get, legit quote unquote reporters covering you. And you have to avail yourself to answer questions to people about what you're doing. Again, the monarchy is not a private business. It is a government institution, run on the taxpayer. They should know exactly what's going on. And it's been secretive this whole time. And Harriet's book has pretty much blown that up. So we'll see. Thank you again, Legs. Donating again. Thank you. Petal, did you see the Telegraph article? Which one? Which Telegraph article? There are many, so let me know which one you're talking about. I did see the Guardian article that said that basically the royal family is finished. And they were interviewing people about who have read the book, and they're like, the royal family is pretty much over in the sense of how they function now. And so yeah, it's just Annie is in love with Harry's eyes. Annie says, question, has anyone actually stared at Harry in the cover of that book? His eyes are mesmerizing. OMG, I'm in love with Harry's eyes. Queuing Meghan. Annie wants your husband. Annie is out here jonesing on Harry. Oh my goodness, our squatties. Oh, Annie. So now we have Church Nelly and Nacho, and now we have Annie and Harry's eyes. Ooh. Yes, Annie, I've actually stared into Harry's eyes, and I'm not mesmerized. I mean, I love his eyes. I'm not saying mesmerized, but ooh, I'm having nacho vibes. Oh yeah, see, Church Nelly, Annie, you're telling me to leave Acho alone? Yeah, exactly. Pure hypocrisy there, Annie. Pure Sussex Squad hypocrisy. I love it. I absolutely love it. Joanne Baker says, but Petal, the royal family does speak up. They do it through the leaking and planting of stories, and and that's how they respond. The monarchy, it's the monarchy way. I know. Now they have to change it. They have to go on record. Now, with Harry blowing it out, they have to go on record, and that's what I'm talking about. Being availing themselves for interview where people can speak, where they can speak to their people. It is no longer acceptable to be leaking. Sources are no longer acceptable. They are being mocked now, you know? So this is what the book has done. It has blown away all those pretense, the things that they were pretending and hiding behind. They're all gone. This, oh, no, we don't leak on each other. Oh, no, we are upstanding people. We're not petty. You kidding me? All those things. Oh, no, we're not abusive. Oh, no, we are mental health advocates. Oh, no, we are women's, protecting women against abuse. All of that stuff is out. Nobody believes that mess anymore. They have none of that to hide behind. So now if they don't start speaking and putting themselves on the record, and when their people put out thing, it's an official statement. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but that hiding behind sources is not happening anymore. Or at least people not believing that mess anymore. So yeah. Lex says the one with Brianna Gordon. He did an interview with his friend, I guess. Is this a new one with Brianna Gordon? Because she's written a couple of them about, Harry and Meghan leaving, about her mental health and all of that. So if it's something from today, I have not seen it. So if you want to share a little bit about it, that's fine. You know what? I'm going to put, yeah. Okay, so if you want to share, if it's something from today and you want to, why don't I do this? I'm going to put the link in the show notes, in the chat. And if you want to call in and share what that interview was or what it was said, I would appreciate it, because no, I did not read that today. So link is there. Call in if you'd like, Legs, and share with us what that article is about. No pressure if you don't want to. I understand. If you just want to put it in the chat, that's fine as well. So yeah. And so a couple more before we end, because I'm realizing, oh my goodness, I've been talking way too much. Let's see. Sherry West says Harry is a 2-time champion of Guinness World Records, fastest Instagram million followers in 24 hours, and now the fastest selling factual memoir. Harry has the world at his feet. Oh my goodness. Wow. That is, wait, I think actually they had the Instagram. I think it was Jennifer Aniston when she came on. I could be wrong, but I think she took that away from them as the fastest. So I remember that was a thing for a minute. So yeah. Let's see. MM Dep 1. Hello. I don't think I've seen you here before. Welcome. Says from Brianna Gordon of the Telegraph, but there are some things that have happened, especially between me and my brother, and to some extent between me and my father. But there's some things that happen especially between my brothers. Okay, I don't have the full context of this. So if anyone wants to explain, or we'll talk about it in the next episode, that is fine as well. Oh, Karen is here. Hi, Karen. Are you gonna explain? I don't know if you explain the article from Brianna Gordon if you read it. So hi, Karen.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful, Petra. Hi, squaddies. How are you guys doing? I did.
um,
I did
um,
get you. I did get you the Audible because I bought the hardcover, but then I went back and got the Audible for my mom to so that she can get to read it and hear it. So I binged that and got through it. She still needs to finish hers, and
uh-huh.
but I'm also I started reading a book and I still want to finish that because there's a different feel with the book as well too. But I'm not going to go into anything because I know people are still doing it.
Right, yeah.
Um,
Did
yeah,
you
the article
yeah,
that you're
did you
talking
see the
about.
article with Brianna Gordon? That's why.
No, I didn't, but I do want to mention because I don't hear anyone mentioning this. If anyone saw the interview, the CNN interview with Anderson, it was really really good and refreshing, especially with the two ladies that was on the panel.
Uh-huh.
Right? Because Anderson didn't allow any one of them, anybody, to do any spin or come with
Oh.
any lies. And Max was not effective at all because he was trying to spin things and he was
Mm-hmm.
not effective at all. But the two
Oh.
ladies, it was really good. The two ladies, it was a historian
Mm-hmm.
and there was another reporter, and the two ladies were really good, and they
Mm-hmm.
stepped up and they were very honest. It was very refreshing, and one of them was saying that the royal family need to take this book and pay attention to it because Harry has put everything out there and he is making sure that he stopped all the nonsense that go on in that family, and they
Right.
need to take note, and the people of England need to step up and take note, and because all this nonsense has to change. They were
Right.
very good. That interview is very very good, and we all
Wow.
should
I'm
look
gonna
at it.
look it
Yeah,
up. I'm gonna look at
yeah.
and it's so funny. I literally, as you were saying it, I saw your comment.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was very refreshing because it helped me because I didn't get my book by then or anything as yet,
Mhm.
and I was looking forward for that interview
Right.
the Monday night, and I just wanted to make sure that Anderson did an excellent job, and
Wow.
he was very serious. He asked
Mhm.
all the right questions,
Mhm.
and Quintari was like right on point with it,
Mhm.
and Anderson was like operate like when he's reporting for the war. He
Right.
didn't let anyone bring any lies to him,
Mhm.
and if they try to lie to him,
Mhm.
he had the question back at them again. He did not put up with any crap. Max tried to do it at the beginning,
Mhm.
and he cut him off, and he started with the other two women, and then you can see Max realize that Anderson is this no nonsense person. He's not putting up with the crap.
Oh
So
wow. Yeah.
it was really refreshing. It made me feel
Awesome.
so good. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
So
Awesome. Because
anyway,
Max, yeah, Max is just, he used to be a good
he's
reporter.
terrible. He's
And
terrible.
now he
Okay.
has completely sold his soul to,
Yeah.
tabloid
I wasn't
nonsense.
sure. Yeah, I wasn't sure of the because it was the historian, and then
Mhm.
it was another reporter. It's a black
Mhm.
reporter, and she was doing reporting at the Queen's funeral, and she was not very nice to Harry and Meghan. So I wasn't sure about her, but I was surprised to hear her made like a 360 on
Wow.
and she was praising the book, and she was saying that the royal family needs to pay attention, and they need to either change things or get out of there. You should hear her. and she
Wow.
and
So,
she said the people of England needs to pay attention, and they need to do something about this. I was
right.
surprised. I was really
Right.
surprised. So I was really surprised
Yeah.
with her.
If,
The historian is always good because she's a historian, and whatever she say goes into history. And
mhm.
she's always on point and stuff with when she does things, because I see her a couple of times, and
Right.
she's always on point with her stuff, and she
Uh-huh.
doesn't sway anywhere. Right is right, wrong is wrong, according
Right.
to her.
Yeah.
But these reporters, I was surprised at the other one because she is a reporter, and
Mm.
she was like a 360. But it was very refreshing,
Wow.
and I really recommend that we all look at it because
Yeah.
it was totally different from what we keep hearing all the time. Even when they have the royal experts come on CNN,
Mhm.
and the CNN like reporters like Don Ledon and stuff listening to whatever crap they're spilling to them. Okay, they
Right.
couldn't
Yeah.
do this. They couldn't do this with this
Right.
interview.
Right, because
Anderson has been
Anderson
really good.
did his homework. So
Yes, he did. He did. He was awesome with it. I felt so refreshing
yeah,
and good that I didn't come off there hearing a bunch of garbage. It
right.
was
Really
really,
good.
really, really, really good. So I
Wow.
recommend.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much, Karen.
you're
I
welcome, Sydney.
appreciate you. I mean, I'm gonna go check it out.
Yes,
And
do that. Yes.
was the interview, was it from today or was it earlier in the week?
It was on Monday. It was on
Oh, it's on
Monday.
Monday. Oh,
Yes,
okay. So I'm
yes,
gonna go
8 o'clock
and try to
on.
find it
Yes,
and then put the link in our show notes so that everyone
yes,
can
eight
see
o'clock
it.
on Monday because he had the 60 minutes on Sunday with CBS,
Mhm.
and then there was a CNN at 8 o'clock
Okay.
on Monday.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize
Yeah.
that. Okay. Well, thank you
Yeah, a lot
so
of people,
much.
yeah, a lot of people didn't realize that thing, but the book is awesome and we all should read it. I have
Yeah.
to buy two more to send to Guyana, but it's awesome. I'm not going to talk about it. It's
Yeah.
shocking. It's a lot of reveal and it's very truthful. I'm so glad that
Yeah.
I have the truth. But
Okay.
it's good.
Yeah.
Thank you, sweetie.
Thank you so much, Karen.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate it. Thank you for coming on. And oh goodness, I'm so happy you shared that told us about the interview. So thank you. Have a great
Yes, you're
day.
welcome. Yeah. You too. Take your
Bye,
hand.
my love.
Bye. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Take care, Mom. Take your hand. Bye.
Bye. Um, and I just let's see. R95K says Brianna Gordon has written a piece in the Telegraph and says Harry has said he has more for another book. She was in Montecito last week. Oh my lord! Oh my lord! Whoops! Wasn't someone just saying a minute ago about Harry having other receipts? Of course, you don't give out your receipts for everything. So if the royal family they're not getting out of this. Harry is serious. He wants change, he wants accountability. And yeah, they're not getting out of this. They have got to do something. So wow. I'm gonna go read that. I will post it when I find it. I will post a link in our community page so that you can read this article as well. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you. Thank you to our awesome moderators, Lydia, Trish Nelly, Karen M, Cookies and Cream. Thank you guys so much for making our space amazing. Thank you, as you always do. Thank you to our 2 Cents crew who support the channel monthly. Thank you so much. I'm going to put our banner there. If you're new here and you have not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, click the notification bell so that you can know when we drop a video. It's right at the bottom of this video. So thank you again to all of our 2 Cents crew, and a couple more that I have to put here. So for our next episode, thank you all so much. Thank you all who have supported in or whether it's Cash App, PayPal, super thanks, super chat, super stickers, donation, however all the ways you've supported the channel. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it in every way possible. Thank you guys so much for taking the time just to hang out with me. I appreciate you. I love you all. I guess I will see you tomorrow for our book club. So, I'm going to be doing all my reading, and, be prepared to call in for our 2 Cents crew members. It's going to be available. Our live chat is going to be for our 2 Cents crew members. So just to give you a heads up, please feel free to come in and join us listening. But the live chat would be our 2 Cents crew members. So I just want to put that out there. So be prepared to call in and share with us what you got out of the book, what you're getting, anything that you're thinking of. We will talk about the book in depth, what we've got, So, and of course, if you're still reading and don't want to hear any of it, don't listen tomorrow because that's what we're going to be talking about. So, but anyways, guys, I love you all. Have a fantastic day, and we'll be chatting spare tomorrow. Bye.